everybody, it's another Whiskey Quickie, and today we're looking at Michter's, and this is their toasted sour mash whiskey release for 2022.
Ooh, yeah, toasted.
It's always, we always said that you're not a real whiskey company until you come out with a toasted release, but I think Michter's is one of the first ones that kind of really looked at it as a limited type of release, and so that's what they kind of did. You know, the one thing I like...
I've always liked the Michter's toasteds.
Yes.
They do a really good job. I think, and we did a blind tasting with all the, or no, Woodford actually won.
Woodford won that one, but they do a good job as well.
Yeah.
But the one thing that I find unique about this one is that they are able to create a limited edition product that people chase after that's not bourbon. It's just American whiskey.
Oh.
See?
I wonder what makes an American whiskey.
That's a good question.
They don't tell much about it, right?
Michter's is probably the most secretive about everything. They don't release their mash bills. If it is American whiskey, maybe it's the same bourbon, but all they do is just put it back into used barrels and go and re-age it again, which would technically define as a whiskey. So that's kind of what you look at as like the secretiveness, but I guess also the mysteriousness of Michter's.
Well, they're so damn consistent with quality. Who cares what you do? Just keep doing it.
Just keep making great product here.
Yep.
So let's give you the one sentence, the one-liner detail about this one is that this is the second time ever that this has ever been released. The first one was back in 2019. So this one is non-age dated. It's 86 proof and has a retail price of $100.
Oh, really? So they've done a toasted American whiskey, the sour mash before? I've never seen it. Really? Okay.
Yep, back in 2019.
Back
before they would send us media samples to review.
I didn't get one of those.
Neither did we.
Yeah, usually just have their standard toasted.
Yeah, we always had the toasted bourbon, but this is the first time we're doing their toasted American whiskey.
Interesting.
So
it'd be interesting at 86 to see
their toasted sour mash whiskey, like, you know, because it's funny we talked about sour mash on the label, like how many people really care about seeing the word sour mash on there? Because that was really big in the earlier days, and people would really tout sour mash whiskey, but they still kind of have that sort of draw back into the olden days of labels.
Yep. Whatever works.
whatever sells.
They're bigger than us, so they know what they're doing.
They know what they're doing. So on to the nose here.
I can see why it's American whiskey now. It almost has like a malt. I mean, there's a very strong malt component to it.
I can kind of see that too. I don't, because
it's like that chocolatey.
I almost wish I had a regular one to compare it against to be able to sit there and see what's the difference between this one and the toasted.
I get a strong malted barley note on this one. And I was going into it thinking bourbon notes, you know, not American whiskey. So
yeah,
but maybe that's why it's American whiskey. It's more.
It's still. I mean, you get a little more sweeter, a little more fruitier notes that are coming out of the nose. But again, I don't know if that's toasted or that's just because of the line of what it is. But
it reminds me of Quaker's brown sugar oatmeal.
Okay,
you know, like the pack you. When you're a kid and your parents are like, I'm too lazy to make breakfast, so dump some water and shove it in the microwave.
What can I get done in 18 seconds or less?
Yeah. Here you go.
All right, so on to the taste here.
Very light. I mean,
super light.
It's
like syrup. It's like a simple syrup. You just threw some vanilla and caramel extracts in there.
To me, it tastes like, it tastes like the Quaker Oats, but not the brown sugar maple one. Okay. It tastes like the apple.
Oh, just like the green apple?
The green apple one. The Quakers with the green, because it does have brown sugar, but it has the green apple chunks in there.
Okay.
And you stir it around, and I mean, it's bringing back to my childhood.
Did your parents really never make breakfast for you in the morning growing up?
No, I got the variety pack of Quaker's Oats, and they're like, here, have at it.
Or like the blueberries are like the most dried up things. They're like smaller than I don't know, even a pinky fingernail.
It's basically like an MRE.
Yeah, exactly what it is. It's like we got to inflate these things up again.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this one it's super light. For me, it's thin. It's sugary. Honestly, like I said, it was like a simple syrup with just like a dash of some extracts.
It kind of reminds me of that Basil Hayden's like toasted, the rice bourbon one they did. I think people just getting into bourbon or whiskey, if you give this to them, they're probably going to love it because it's very smooth, light, delicate. and sweet.
Super smooth.
Yeah.
All
Super
right.
smooth.
Super smooth.
Super smooth, sweet.
All right, well, let's go ahead and rate it. So on the nose, where you at?
Thumbs up. I like the nose.
I'd say so too.
Yeah.
On the taste,
I'm gonna go sideways. I mean, yeah.
I would too. It just feels, I don't want to say like manufactured, but it just feels like it's not like authentic. I don't know what the right word is. It just feels like too syrupy for me.
It feels like Quaker Oats in a brown
Okay.
bag that you heat up in the microwave.
Maybe that's what it is. I mean, they do great whiskey after
Yeah,
overall, but like I said, for this one, like I said, it just has this weird viscosity. I guess that's probably the word I'm looking for. It's a weird viscosity that I'm looking for.
Yep.
Where it's just like super syrupy. And the finish.
Sideways. I mean, there's like I think a beginner's palate would love this because it's sweet, delicate. You know, there's some good flavors in there, but if you're a seasoned drinker, you're probably going to find this tastes a little too artificial for you.
Yeah. And when I say, when you say beginner drinker, this is like a beginner's drinker the first time drinking out of a Glencairn. That you're not mixing with ice.
Right.
You're not mixing with anything else. Like
if you put this on water or ice, I mean, it's going to fall apart.
It's going to destroy yourself. Yeah. Like this is one of those things that if you're getting into it, 86 proof, easy way to kind of just have an easy pour. But again, I would say for a lot of seasoned drinkers out there, you're going to find it a little lacking in some of those like punchedness or like whatever you kind of want that big bomb of finishing, or if you will, anything like that. So,
yep.
But with that is our review of Michter's Toasted Sour Mash American Whiskey 2022 release. I think I got all the buzzwords in there. But with that, we'll see everybody next week.
Toodles.